2, 1, and live. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
Oh, I'm actually talking to the audience, not you guys yet.
That's
You guys too.
I just want to make sure everybody can hear us first and the audio is good. Can you guys give us a 5x5 in the chat if we sound good? And obviously, welcome. Hang on, let me mute that before it goes crazy. Obviously, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We're excited to have you. Sorry, my computer's going crazy here. All right, they can hear us. Good. So what's up, guys? Welcome to the Cocoa Beach Conference roundtable discussion. If you guys don't know what this conference is about, it's a conference March 12th through 14th in Cocoa Beach, Florida. And there's going to have all these amazing speakers there, plus a handful of others. We realize it's a tough time to even buy a ticket to go to an event, but I mean, man, how many of us could use some beach time right now? Seriously. So it's just, I'm excited just to get out and just hang out with some people. I know it's not easy to travel. I know it's not really affordable for some people right now, but if you can't afford it, come hang out with us. There's limited amount of tickets, and we're going to get into what this is all about. I see people in the chat said Kate sent them. So Kate Awakening was a recent add-on, so she will be there also. So that's the big major announcement. And let me make sure my phone's muted. Okay. So welcome to the show, guys. How's it going? I know there's so many of you, so you can't all answer at once. So I guess we'll just start with James, and we'll allow him a chance to introduce himself, and we're just kind of go through kind of one by one and let everybody tell you guys what they're going to be speaking about in Florida. What's up, James?
Boy, it's the short version or the long version. I guess we're going to do the short version right now. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm the founder of ESETI, the ranch. It stands for Enlightened Contact with Extraterrestrial Intelligence, which is a mouthful. And I've had the ranch here for 34 years right now. And it's funny, Kathy here just read me something out of my book I wrote in 1982 that I was a child prophet. I'm dating myself. But I blew my mind because it's everything that's happening right now. And it was written, and she read it and she just got tears. She goes, "Oh my God," but it's amazing. We've all kind of expected this. People who are on the path have expected what's coming down right now, and we know about it, and we know how the outcome of it. So, I mean, we are going to go through some trials and tribulations, but in the end, God wins, so
yes,
I'll just cut it short there and let the others talk.
Yeah. Abby, let's jump down to you. How's it going over there? And for those of you guys who are unaware of Abby and Tony and everybody, they all have amazing stories. Everybody has amazing gifts and talents. It's just super exciting. So Abby, let us know what you're bringing us.
Thanks, Tyler. It's great to see everybody tonight. Thanks for everyone who's joined in for the video. So, one thing that's so great about going to these conferences that I actually love is it's one thing to listen to videos at home and to hear them, but when you're actually physically around other, starseeds, it's an igniter. And just one conversation, one thing that's really great about the Starseed conference that they're doing different is mixing the vacation feel along with presentations. So it gives everyone who's coming the opportunity just to sit and have really great conversations, because just one conversation can actually be a huge igniter for someone, and it can be an activator, and outside of listening to the presentation. So what I'm contributing down in Florida is a presentation and a workshop, and they're going to actually be different. So the workshop is going to focus on more healing modalities. I've seen about 3 to 4 healing rooms in craft. So, and each of them have a different purpose. So I'll be going over the different beings that work with me, how they work, the differences, but I'm also going to put people to work. So they can actually have the opportunity to see what it feels like to have energy coming out of your hands and your body. We can do some exercises to trigger in and work on the intuitive side of you that we all naturally have. We all have these abilities inside of us, but sometimes it just takes, that small little window to see what it feels like. And then that can ignite it, and they can go home and pursue classes and delve into that further. And then for my presentation side, I'm going to be talking about just my life as an experiencer, what that's been like. I've had it since I was 3 years old, what those relationships look like. And a lot of people I've noticed, they try to, and I did this, compartmentalize, because I had this whole mediumship side. I had paranormal experiences my whole life. And then I had this galactic side, and I didn't know how they bridge. I compartmentalized those. And through a lot of my work, I've seen that it's just one huge connected story, and they all flow into that. So that would be part of my presentation, focusing on how that works, how that looks like. And then, my own journey into walking into my personal mission, that bringing in that memory for myself and how other people can do that. And then I'm also going to touch on what it's like raising star seeds. As we all know, there's so many of us that are here, and are even more are coming here. And the ones that are coming here now are even more awake and are coming in more heightened than what we are. And, we can't parent them in a 3D reality. It's parenting them into a 5th dimensional reality. And what does that look like? I've had it with my own kids, and completely readjusting to that, and, being open and knowing that, a lot of times in 3D, when you have kids, there's this aspect of ownership on them. Like, I own them. And that's not the case, working through when you realize some of these kids are much older than you are, but yet this paradigm of, I'm raising this person who I know is probably a million years older than I am. And what that dynamic looks like.
Well, we definitely have some star seeds. I was just talking to a friend today, and her 5-year-old son came in the room. Was like, "Mom, how do you spell animatronics?" And he's 5 years old. It's like these kids are operating at a different level than I certainly was at that age. Speaking of being on the craft and working with these healing technologies, let's jump over to Tony, who we've recently had on as part of the Secret Space Program month, and we went into his incredible testimony. We'll give him a chance to introduce himself and let us know what's going on in space.
Hi, I'm in Michigan at the time. Hi, Tony Rodrigues, and I'm an experiencer. So it's a kind of a long story. It's like based off the 20 and back, which a lot of other guys have come forward and talked about. And it's basically what I experienced. I'm a person that experienced it, and I was not groomed to be a rock star in the programs. I was taken kind of haphazardly, and got my memories back in 2015. I had no memories. They were vague, throughout my life, flashes of memories that didn't make any sense, not like dreams. And I got the bulk of my memories back in 2015 after an MRI, a couple weeks after an MRI. And I was bouncing off the walls and wanted to talk to somebody about it, and talk to some researchers, and a lot of things checked out. So it's a tall tale, but a lot of things have checked out. There's a lot of facts that back up what I've remembered. And so I've done talks, and what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go through at the talk, which I can't wait to meet all you guys there, really. And there are other people that are coming, friends of mine that are in Florida, they're going to visit, and I'm just blown away by the cast. And so I can't wait to be there. But what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to try to just bullet point through my story, because it's available on YouTube. I have a website, and it's out there. But I want to talk about what's really happened since I've gone public with it. And that's the real miracle, is that I've been contacted by thousands of people that have similar stories, or contact that is nothing like what I went through. And so I've been able to and I never meant to be a researcher or some kind, you know what I mean? People always come to me and say, help me connect the dots. And I'm like, that's not I'm still sorting it out myself. But since then, I've been able to categorize things into like 3 basic categories of contact. And because it's all across the board, because we live in a very populated, very endless cosmos, and we are getting visited from all directions and from all distances and from all levels of technology, not just the local thugs that we deal with. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about basically what I've learned since then from talking with other people, things, common denominators that are, definitely green flags. And, I don't really care about red flags, because I'm not in the business of trying to prove or debunk anybody.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is I have a memory course that I put available on my website, and I'm believe I'm doing a workshop, and it'll be based on that, like not recovering your memories from a zero, but kind of exercising memories that you have so that you can get more memories. It's kind of a place to start. I remember in the very beginning, when I got all these chunks, years and years of memories, and I went, oh my God, that happened. And I'd look up places that I remembered online, and they existed. I was so alone at that point. I didn't know where to go for help. I didn't know where to go to speak to anybody. I didn't know where to go to get any kind of help whatsoever and deal with these process. You know what I mean? Like the identity crisis I went through. And so I'm trying to provide somewhere like a reference point, a start point for others, because there have been literally thousands of people that have contacted me since in the last 4 years. Thousands of people have contacted me, and they have similar feelings. And some people have a great deal of their memories. Most people don't have many, but they have a few very traumatic, very powerful memories that stand out. So it's those people that I'm going to be working towards.
Well, thank you for doing that. It is important. More and more people are having these memories come back. And like you said, I really wonder how many people actually out there have been a part of some type of program and are just clueless to it.
And have no idea.
Yeah. Which brings us over to our next guest, John Vivanco, who can remote view these type of situations and tap into what you're talking about in a different level. So welcome to the show, John. How's it going?
Thanks. It's going good. Good to see all of you. Yeah, I'm John Vivanco. If you don't know, I've been, it's been probably about 25 years since I've been in the remote viewing field. It's a civilian side, non-military, but contracting on occasion in the past on like counterterror for the FBI. That's one of the big stories that I'm known for. But I have a lot of other things. So that the talks that I usually do revolve around those things, but I want to shift it out a little bit into more of the spiritual side of remote viewing in this talk. I mean, I'll bring my stories and all the crazy stuff that we've remote viewed on investigations out in the field, things like that. But there's this other aspect to remote viewing that not many know about. You know, it comes from the military industrial complex, but don't kid yourself. You know, this has been around a long time, stuff like this, and it's part and parcel of spiritual development. So processing in remote viewing is somewhat similar to a path of letting go of yourself so you can truly see who you are. So there's this whole other aspect of it where, you know, people just focus on the information about it and this whole sexiness about it. But there's this whole other aspect that can lead you into deeper self-realizations just by the process of remote viewing. So aside from the stories and the crazy things that have happened and that are happening right now, I'll be digging a little bit into that side too.
Yeah, that's exciting, and obviously couldn't be more important right now. I mean,
it can't be more important right now. I mean, you know, remote viewing is literally a practice of oneness. I mean, when a remote viewer views, they go inside themselves to see something that's supposedly outside of themselves, right? And that just tells you that it's you that you're viewing. So anybody you view, anything you view is really just you. And it removes this sort of like this barrier between you and who you think is good or bad in your life, right? And it just turns into, well, geez, man, these people are all just my shadow self, right? So I think it's a really huge message for this time at the moment, especially with what the world is going through at the moment. So I'll be going into that. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Very important. And it's cool that you spent so many years doing this, and now it's time. It's like we're all being guided into the healing aspect of what we're doing. So yeah, thank you for that. And speaking of healing, that brings us to our next two speakers. I guess I'll turn it over to Z and let her introduce herself and explain to us what she's going to be discussing with us in Cocoa Beach.
Hi, everybody. So I'm actually really super excited for this conference because I feel like it's really being initiated in a positive way, as in it's going to be really intimate. And I feel like all of us that are present here, that are on the speakers panel, we all are kind of orientated towards leading us or especially leading ourselves into mastery, into ascension, into embodying, our true soul essence. And so my name is Z, Earthstar Healer. For those of you who've never come into my work, I am a ceremony facilitator. I would call myself an embodied starseed, as in I kind of have access to my higher dimensional aspects that are in Sirius and Andromeda and beyond. And I remember being a angelic and geneticist in my most previous lifetimes, and I believe that my role here in the community at the moment is to explore what DNA activation truly is, and that is to say what humans are really capable of. And I feel like we're moving through a very interesting time in our community right now, where because there's so many activation codes coming in, we're realizing that we have really been operating almost inside of some sort of glass ceiling. This bubble where, we think that we're doing spiritual things, or we think we're waking up, and that means, we've gotten somewhere, and then, that bubble pops and we realize that there's actually so much more to explore. And so in my personal life, I had so many dreams about flying and walking through walls and using these natural portals along the earth to journey into different dimensions. And I believe that that is what our human genetics are capable of. But beyond that, just embodying this vibration of divinity and of love and of truth and joy and creativity. These vibrations I believe to be the original frequencies of consciousness. And so I think that this conference, we have an opportunity to do some collective grid work together, meaning that we can put our consciousness together in a ceremonial way. And I think that giving this conference this purpose is really important at this time because, obviously a lot of things are going on in the world right now. So it could seem kind of weird to be like, okay, all this stuff is going on. Like, let's just go and party and hang out somewhere together. But if we have this understanding that we're going to come together to perform, planetary ceremony together, I believe that when we bring our consciousness together, it is so, so powerful, especially being by the ocean and, water. It's really what connects all of us. It's flowing around the entire planet, it's flowing through our bodies. And so if we can come together and just work together in anchoring the highest vibrations of love and unity together, and then, I'm going to be offering a workshop in how we can facilitate planetary grid work in relation to our own consciousness. And I really feel excited that I feel like a lot of the speakers are expertise really meld together really beautifully on this regard. I really believe that we can probably perform some massive magic together. So
Yeah.
look forward to sharing that vibration with everybody.
Yeah, thank you for that. We have a comment from Kate. She said, "Your voice is so soothing." It's true. If you guys haven't heard any of Z's music and her singing, she has a beautiful singing voice, and I've meditated to her videos quite a few times at this point, and her energy is just like this comment says. Her energy is lovely. So we're looking forward to that, Z. We're going to turn it over to Matthew. How's it going, brother?
Thank you for having me here. First off, I want to say that honestly, it is truly an honor to be here alongside everybody on this panel. And I want to say officially, what's up, everybody out there in YouTube land and on Facebook land. I'm really glad you guys are here. I'm saying what's up to you directly because you guys are going to be experiencing a entirely separate conversation. So watch my eyes, watch my words, and watch my body language. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at one of the greatest junction points in our Earth lifetime here. And so at the beginning of 2021, we have opportunities to shift our energy, to activate the self, to literally step into an entirely new era of energy, of consciousness, of ability. And I am so incredibly honored to be a part of this event, because what we're going to be doing in conjunction with every single person that you see here on the screen and all of this amazing energy is I'm going to be doing, once again, like we did last year, a bit of a briefing into the multidimensional anatomy, the activations and the multidimensional workings within the human body. At this stage of our journey here on Earth, you are an entirely different version of the version of you that you were only a few years ago. And we're going to be experiencing some really huge events this year that are going to be leading each and every person into another stage of your assignment, your mission, the version of you that you chose to become. And so my mission for this particular event is helping people understand what's going on within the body, within our chakras, within the meridians, the ways in which they all intricately link together, and especially this thing called organ consciousness. And so we're going to be doing a workshop and a presentation. And what is it really? It's an activation in which we're helping people get just a little bit closer to that next assignment, that next step. And we're not telling you what it is, but we're helping to create the clarity, the understanding, the consciousness, and especially the intuitive ability in your body that facilitates these changes. And so if you guys are watching this out there in the world, some of you guys are going to be pulled to join us in Florida, because in my opinion, if you're part of this multidimensional soul group, if you've been watching the craziness in the world, especially what's happened just in the past few weeks, you will feel it burning in your heart. You will know there is a purpose. There is a reason that we are all here right now. And this is one of many that will be taking place. But I just want to mention, I'm deeply honored to be here, and I'm excited for what we are all going to be creating in March. And so, yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, thank you guys all for that amazing introduction. And so I wanted to get the intros out of the way, give everybody an opportunity to meet you guys. And now I would kind of like to open it up for an open discussion as kind of what we're seeing play out right now on the planet, because it's extremely confusing. And I think what's most important is to try and help people understand that it's not over. So many, like the morale of the collective right now, it seems lower than it should be, than it needs to be. So I'd like to kind of ensure people, like, obviously it doesn't look that great on the surface, but we need to remember that what we're seeing is purely optics. And there's something else entirely different taking place behind the scenes. And I know James is just waiting to say something about this. I can tell by the grin on his face.
Yeah.
What's going on, James? Tell us what the hell's going on.
I keep getting that message, it's not falling apart, it's falling together. And, as I said before, we all knew this time was coming. A lot of us incarnated for this time to do our thing. And I feel really good. I mean, I felt those lows and we go, oh, we're screwed, like he's in where it's all, you can feel those energies, the whole collective dropping. And I go, hang in there. We knew this was coming. We knew it was going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, but that you can't really figure this out with your mind and through media and you've got to go within. That's the only way you're going to figure this out and get your answers from within. And we have some pretty high level sources that are saying, hey, it's under control. It's going to, it's all going where it needs to go. The frequencies are rising. There's no way of getting around it. These people are not frequency specific to the planet, and they're going to remove themselves because everything's being accelerated. Their karma, action, reaction, everything. The time is being accelerated. Everything is going to start moving really fast. And so when things start moving this fast, we need to get slow. We need to slow down, take our shoes off, walk on the ground. It's snowing right now, so it's kind of hard to do get grounded again and get back in touch with your heart and get away from that fear and get that big bliss hit from your own God self. That's so important right now, because if you don't have your own personal connection with Source, you're going to get kicked all over the place with what's going on right now. And you're going to be on this roller coaster. But I feel really good about where things are going. And it's going to have swings and lows and highs and everything. And just kind of like stay the course, stay centered in your own personal connection with Source and get your information there. Because I always tell people, I always do a disclaimer. People ask, who's James? I go, right now I'm a big distraction because you should be going within. and getting your own information, you know.
I
But
love that.
that's what we've always taught. Everything we've taught here is to empower the individual to heal, to clear, to get their own inner guidance, you know. So it's so important right now is that we can't give our power away to anything externally right now. This is an internal process. And when you step out of that external chaos, it's amazing. That's the only way we're going to find peace. And there you can get into creation mind versus reactionary mind and start creating the world you want to see.
Yeah. Anybody feel free to just jump in whenever. I mean, this is obviously we all have stuff to say about what's happening right now. And thanks. I couldn't agree with that more, James. Actually, you are a distraction.
Thanks. You're supposed to say no way.
Yeah, no way.
And I'll say Yahweh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
The joke there.
I was going to add on to that, you know, so we all knew that this, you know, this huge shift was coming. And like James has said, most of us, we've seen the ending, you know, we know where it's going to, where we're going, but how do we get there? And, you know, it was shared with me from some of my galactic family that, you know, we all chose to be here during this because when we move on from this, we will be teachers and we will be, you know, we will spread out because it's going to be embedded within our DNA code what happened here, this great awakening, this shifting that's happened. And, you know, we will be the teachers moving forward. But, you know, as all this is going on, I always like to joke that I love to complain and whine to them. Like, I don't know what's going on. You know, I know it ends, but come on, give me some type of hint. And
yeah,
they've always given me, you know, yeah, they're used to me ranting to them.
Yeah, probably right.
Yeah, we can't tell you because you have to experience this genuinely, cathartically, and be surprised just as everybody else. Because if you don't, it won't, like the gaming image is not going to embed the same way permanently within us if we don't experience it naturally and cohesively with the flow of it happening. So we've been gifted of, we can see the ending, but you know, we're not really going to get those hints of how we're going to get there.
We're just getting a bunch of tough love along the way.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, with all the news events, so many people are paying no attention and they see exactly what they're seeing on television and they have no idea really what we're talking about. And a lot of people are in the know and have been watching all along and kind of don't fall for the BS on the mainstream. The thing I wanted to point out was that when you look in history at times when some huge social and political changes happened, and then you look at the amount of social and political changes that are going on today, just in the last year, there's a distinct lack of violence. There's always been a great deal of violence in the past when things happen. So this time we're going through it in a much less violent way. Not saying that there's no violence. And then we've had a lot of deaths with, you know, the COVID, the virus happened. That was, I believe it was a weapon, in my opinion, was a weapon. But there's a real lack of violence. There aren't giant armies attacking giant armies. There isn't entire towns being mowed over, other than the riots that have happened. And the riots, I mean, really it touched on good issues, just they played out wrong. And you know what I mean, and became violent. But I'm saying overall, when you look at the amount of change that we're looking at, they're on our desk, you know, for every man, woman, and child in America and around the world, there's a distinct lack of warfare, violence going on. So I mean, there's a bright side, there's a silver lining. And it would be weird if everything played out easily. In other words, you know what I mean? Like James was saying in the, you know, just he wished it would have played out differently. Oh, it's going to happen, you know. But if everything just happened, boom, 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 and it was like, ta-da, you're done, it would be totally strange because nothing happens like that. That would be completely weird. So, you know what I mean? There are going to be struggles and it's not going to happen overnight. We're building up to a disclosure into a galactic community, obviously, to a public disclosure of ET life. That's really, you know, I always say it, World War I was about money and World War II was about interstellar flight. And we're in a solar system wide war right now. And that's going to be about disclosure, about us joining the community up there. So that's really what's the stakes. And it's going to happen, you know, it's going to happen.
Oh, of course. Like, what's the saying? If it's going according to plan, you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
So it has to play out this way. Go ahead, Matthew. You were going to say something? You're muted.
Well, thank you. Hope am I still muted? No,
No,
there
you're
we
good.
go.
You're good.
Okay, we are live. Well, thank you. I just want to say I absolutely agree. To me, and granted, I'm a little bit of a weirdo, but to me, this period we are living in right now, the intensity, the sort of jagged edge to the energy that we are feeling on a daily basis. I mean, all you have to do is turn on social media. We don't have to look at the television anymore. All you have to do is tune in to your feelings, and you'll know that there's this sort of jagged edge to each and everything that we're experiencing. To me, this represents one of the greatest opportunities for the expansion of consciousness, for the realization of, what some of us were talking about, the self. And I mean the self with the big S, like the multidimensional self, the reason why we're all here. To me, this is absolutely the greatest time we could have chosen to be alive on this earth plane. Because if you're feeling the pressurization inside your body, if you're like wondering every single day what's going to happen next, in my opinion, this is just me, everybody, I believe that's because it's time for you to make your appearance. And so I am truly, truly honored to be watching the ways in which each and every person is coming to their own realizations. We're all filtering through the bizarre disinfo. We're all filtering through the truth. We're all filtering through what we call, the parasitic construct as well. And part of the discovery, I think, of where this timeline is actually going, even for those of us who, who claim, we can see how it ends. And guess what? There's multiple endings. Everyone gets a different one. If you haven't already figured that out, it's individual to your own soul's path. But for those of us that are watching the way the momentum's going, I think this is time to rejoice. This is time to be like, yes, it is our time. Our time is now, and it is happening. And so, I don't know. I'm just excited. So anyway,
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I think right now what's happening is people are being forced to choose as well. You've got to choose. Are you going to go into a more service to others and spiritual development side, or are you going to go into deeper karma, like deeper earth? I got to feed my face, and I'm going to take it no matter what side, right? It's I think a huge part of this is people are going to be pushed up against the wall to choose which side, which way do you want to go? You got to do it now. No gray areas.
I love that. And one of the big things to me, which we've already discussed this, I think, in the last episode with Laura Eisenhower, but we discussed on this is kind of a lesson for all of us, like, because how many people out there were allowing this inauguration to determine their level of happiness? So it's showing how much we've all given our power away, and none of these external current events and these external forces should determine our happiness, and that's up to us. And this is where we're all being tested.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I mean, yeah, exactly. How many people have based their happiness on this little event, this single little event? I mean, the plan is so much bigger. There's so much more, why get caught in it? Anyway, sorry, Z, go ahead.
No, that's all right. I was just totally agreeing with you guys. And I live 2.5 hours away from the city. I'm a gatekeeper. So predominantly of the time, I'm watching different energies and timelines come onto the planet. And the last 2 months has just been the best time of my entire life. Like the vibrations come in are so next level. And like, it's almost like sometimes I go online to check my email and I'm like, oh yeah, like there's a new president. I didn't even know. Every time I go to the city, people are wearing their masks. I'm like, what happened? Like, where am I, So it was weird because there was this dichotomy where people really were like afraid or like, oh no, are we on the timeline where, we're all going to die or whatever? And it's just like, give us some credit. Like you're literally here. You're an interdimensional divine being. Like, look how many awesome creatures are alive right now. Like, did we all just come to the planet so we can watch it burn and explode? Like, no, of course not. And so I feel like what's been really present for me has been like these memories of earlier times, maybe on this planet, maybe on other ones, where we opened the Stargate and like galactic beings literally just materialized, right? From Sirius, from other star systems, and we literally go through them. And like, it's written about in the hieroglyphics in ancient Egypt. So even on this planet, that has happened. That was our reality at some point. And if we're going to talk about multidimensionality and stargates and all these things, and when we bring in these ideas, it's like, well, those feel more like fantasies, right? There was a time when those things really just felt like fantasies to me. And I realized in the last month, I was like, all of a sudden this thing clicked, and I felt like I was close to it. Like I felt like that reality became closer and closer to being more than just something that was out of reach, but more something that was able to be experienced. And that is just so interesting to me. I'm like, if there's any reality that I want to experience, like it's that one. And clearly, you know, stargates are a thing, and ancient Egyptians have talked about it, like literal beings appearing from other dimensions. Now, if you guys want to experience that, I just have to say, like, there is a certain frequency we'd have to embody in order to even do that. You guys think that, you know, doing contact sky watches are cool, and you even have to be in a certain vibration to like get those beings in contact, right? Like even sky watching, you would have to be in a certain vibration for them to say hello to you. So imagine the kind of vibration that you would want to embody in order to be in the vibrational state where you can interact with interdimensional beings that can actually materialize in front of you. Now that is the most interesting thing to me in the whole world.
I'd like
And
to
you
segue.
guys know that when you embody that level of creatorhood, I saw somebody write about Christianity. So the true meaning of Christ is actually the process of divine energy embodying and materializing into the physical. So this whole idea then, it's like, can an infinite creator being, you know, instantly heal, miraculously, you know, disappear and reappear? Like, what are the capacities of an infinite creator being in physicality? Now, when you begin to explore that those potentials, you realize that co-creating with the physical world is actually, you know, our first task, our first level. When you embody your creator frequency on that level, like we can literally influence the fabric of this reality. So far, we've just literally been duped into operating at 10%. There are so many false spiritual teachings in the world that keep you at literally 10%. And you think that, you know, oh, I'm so, you know, I've got all these crystals, I'm getting somewhere. And we don't even know that there's this firmament that's just literally keeping us at 10. Now, what if we just pop that and go to 15? What if, you know, all of a sudden we really love ourselves and really believe in ourselves and really know ourselves as the divine creator beings that we are, and all of a sudden we go outside. You know, there's this funny moment. I went to the grocery store last week and I was surprised, right? I was like, oh my God, what are you, like, why are these people still wearing their masks? And then I realized, like, if I was in a certain creator vibration and I just radiated a frequency out, then, you know, if I was in my most empowered state, people would literally just yank their mask off and throw it on the floor and be like, what am I doing? I'm a divine creator being. What am I wearing that mask for? And clearly, you know, I'm not there yet. And so this is what we're working towards, right? When we become a beacon and embodied in that level, this 3D stuff is easy. And so really, this is why we go back to the drawing board and continue to raise our frequency, because it's not just a fun concept, it's really the mechanics of creation.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you said at the very beginning reminded me of that meme. You know, you said you live 2 hours away. It's that meme that says, I feel bad for the guy living in the woods somewhere that doesn't know that he's supposed to be angry right now.
That's me.
Yeah.
I want
Exactly.
to do a segue on that. Right now, the veils are so thin. And I really want to stress personal responsibility right now. It's not their job to come down and heal us and clear all of our wounds and traumas and wrong conclusions, you know, from past experience. It's our job to do that. They'll assist us in doing that if that's our intention and we ask. But it's so important to raise our frequencies because the veils are so thin right now. I mean, I'm walking around and lights are flashing and beings are appearing everywhere. And it's just like, oh my God, you know, and we're having like 12th dimensional beings show up. It's like a mind blower right now. And I've never seen that before, but there's two things going on. One, the apocalypse is the great uncovering. Everything is being uncovered. The chaos you see is part of the process. And so when you welcome the chaos and you see all this stuff coming up, you're going, yeah, it's happening. It's happening now. Everything is being uncovered. We're seeing everything for what it is. We don't have to identify with it, but it's so important right now. Personal responsibility. Don't be a victim, you know, and don't be a savior either. You know, find that middle path, find your own connection and rise to the occasion. And we have to raise our frequencies so we can have contact, because the mind in which you seek is the mind in which you connect. So if you've got a lot of wounds and traumas and programs and you want fame and notoriety and money, all that stuff, if that's the program you're running, those are the type of beings you're going to connect with. And they'll give you bonuses and things like that, but there's a payback, you know? So you have to stay in service, you know, service to others. You have to stay in love and joy and bliss and hold those other frequencies, but it doesn't mean live in denial of what else is happening around you. Just know it's part of the process. And, you know, get back into, as I said, creation remind where you're creating your tomorrow, you know, versus reacting to what CNN is telling you, which those guys are all pathological liars. Oh my God, I dropped into judgment. You know? But I have no attachment to that. You know, I'm practicing loving detachment. I can call it like it is without any attachment. And they are. That's all that spews out of their mouth. I've never seen anything like it. But I don't watch it. I don't get angry at it. I just don't watch it. I just turn it off. I go, there's nothing of value here. And we all need to do that. We need to start changing channels. Or I mean, I threw my TV set out the window in the 70s. So, you know.
Well, if you were to tune in to CNN right now, it's not what it was during the last administration. It's like they're like so.
Well, they're still lying.
They're still lying, but they're just like you would think they were celebrating like humanity's evolution or something. Like they're just so happy.
You think Jesus came back? And is president?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how do you prop up you know, excuse my language, man. How do you prop up a turd, you know, and put a suit on it and make it work? And I mean, their job, you know what kind of a job they have to make this work? Well, it's like, it's unbelievable. I go, there's no soul there. You know, how are you going to make this person a saint? It's going to fail, you know? Well, excuse me for being blunt, but I mean, that's basically what's going on. They're trying to, you know, sell us something that just isn't there and people are figuring it out.
Something that came up, somebody had a question for John, and to put you on the spot, somebody asked, you know, because obviously you were very open about remote viewing this election and you shared the results. But what I want to remind people is that what we're seeing take place is optics. We have to remember that. That's what we're seeing on the surface is not the reality of what happened. And maybe you want to touch on that, John.
We saw him winning. We saw Trump winning.
Yeah.
We saw Trump winning. We also saw that if the only way that Biden could win was by cheating, right? But we didn't look at who was going to be in office, right? So, and that's really where we left it. Actually, oh wait. So later on, we looked at like March or April timeframe. Like what's Trump doing? What's Donald Trump doing? And it didn't look very good. And this was like pre-election, and it didn't look very good. And you know, we're talking about the data, and we're like, well, what? So Trump wins, but his reaction is not like he won, right? Because when we saw him later on, it was like he was constrained and not feeling well, and it was like he was in a box, right, that he couldn't get out of. I mean, it's psychological state, and so I was like, I don't know 100% what it means, if it's deeply metaphorical for how he's feeling in that moment, or he's literally not in office. Now, when we looked at Biden, it's a little bit different. He was happier. So that was like weird. That was weird and concerning when I saw that. I didn't know what to do with it, you know, just shelve it and see what happens later on. Yeah.
Well, you better end with something positive for us to hang on to there.
You know, the shows that we've done earlier. Yeah, I've said over and over, we saw three things and we couldn't figure it out because it said Trump wins, and then they said Biden wins, and then they said Trump wins. And I go, this makes no sense at all. I said, I'm just sharing you guys the information I got, and it makes no sense to me at all at the time when we received it. And that's what we're going through. Trump won, literally, he won. Mm-hmm. They stole it. Biden won. And eventually this is all going to get cleaned up and it's going to go back to Trump, and it'll be a whole different system.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, you get these information, it makes no sense at all.
That's only if Armageddon doesn't happen beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm sticking to that one. I do think this is going to
be super negative.
around.
No. I mean, it's all interesting to me, and it's important to discuss this because, I mean, you have this Tim Clements prophecy guy. I'm sure people hear of him. He prophesized that at this point in time we would have two presidents, which is kind of what we have right now, and it's just really interesting to me.
Well, Carmageddon is what's coming, not Armageddon.
Yeah.
I like that.
Tony, you're going to say something?
I just wanted to say that, all remote viewing, looking into the future aside, I try to get my head, I try to just kind of play out what possible scenarios, but I haven't done any of that. I've just been making the most of it because it's like I'm getting back on all the people that reshared all the CNN crap. So like on social media, whenever you got a meme or something, there was so much anti-Trump stuff that was just obviously like just gross. So now the president now is a fountain of great memes that make him look bad. I mean, it's too easy. So it's like I'm making the most of this by getting a little bit of revenge. Yeah. You know what? And it's against the media. That's the thing is I don't consider myself one party or the other or one, you know what I mean? Like, if the Democratic Party came with somebody that was worthy, I would jump ship in a heartbeat. It's not like I'm some kind of hardcore conservative, but you can just, if you really kind of step up, most people don't want to believe that the media is lying. Really, they grew up with it, you know what I mean? Like that, it's that concrete of a belief in so many people that they don't even want to entertain the thought that it's not verbatim. So and then there are people that know that it's a lie, that can see it. People that just have a good radar for BS, and those are the two parties. That's our system. I mean, that's what's going on right now. So I've been making the most of it lately and just kind of throwing Biden under the bus because he's made it very easy.
Well, he has. It was there's somebody said Biden has not even a week into his presidency, and Biden's given out more red pills than Morpheus. It's like they're leaving us breadcrumbs, and it's so obvious for those of us paying attention. It is so obvious. They want us to see what's happening. They want us to know this is a show, because I'm sorry, no one's going to convince me otherwise that what we're seeing on TV is
all fake.
Yeah, it's staged.
It's all fake.
So on that note, I really want to bring in just this little piece about grid work, because I think that so basically when you think about a planet, there is an energy that is flowing through the entire planet, including all the people. And when the angelics created the ley line system, it was actually designed to be a pathway of energy that allowed higher dimensional energies to come in and activate certain genetic sequences at certain moments in time during a planet's evolution, as well as a collective evolution such as humanity. So this is the reason why there are so many, reversal things like military bases and certain churches and places where satanic ritual abuse occurs, on major places on the grid, is because those places actually directly affect planetary consciousness in an extraordinary level. So what that means is that if there is this tension and trauma and super dense fear energy that is being put into the grid in those specific ley line grid positions or Stargate points, then that's the energy that contains collective consciousness on the planet. So basically, I would say that it's kind of like a collective mind control technology. Now then, the reason why it's so powerful when we actually activate our higher dimensional consciousness is that we begin to basically pop holes in that mind control container of the planet. And so, when we begin to actually channel and embody these higher dimensional frequencies, we literally become sort of like an acupuncture needle on the planet, and we begin to channel in these energies. And so as much as we are like, the TV is telling mass consciousness this, and most people believe that, when we really begin to step forward in our creator consciousness, I mean, there's 581 people watching this live right now. If every single person on this stream is devoted to your self-healing to the point of embodying your divine creator consciousness, it would be immediately game over. There's no chance, right? It's just that we're constantly being distracted away from our power by being shown that there's some 3D force or whatever force that is controlling the rest of the planet. So I really just invite us to recognize what is possible when we unite our consciousness. Of course, it always begins with just this deep devotion to our inner work, because I think that it's hard for certain levels of our own consciousness to believe our power when we don't realize that, we are literally creator beings. And if we just allow ourselves that opportunity to just stop for a moment and realize that we're connected with the whole planet. And the more God consciousness we flow in through our vessel, the more power we have over the collective. And if we're just constantly, ascending our consciousness, then it's inevitable that the whole collective is going to follow.
Leave it to Z to bring us back to the important topics, right?
Yes.
No.
Well, so I'm going to add on to that. It was interesting. A few months ago, I had this energy come in, and it was Elder Sasquatch, actually. And he said his name was Nighthawk, but he came in a way that he said, all of you are turning on so much right now. And he said, all you are activating, and I could literally see all these points of light around the globe. And he said, it's coming on a little too strong, because it was almost like we're like, well, I'm going to do portal work, and I'm going to do like grid work. And he said it's almost too much energy. And so all this Sasquatch were actually, because they're amazing portal workers, he said we're having to work on the portals and kind of bring them more in alignment, because so many of us are all turning on at the same time, and we want to go in and go big or go home. And so he was just saying that all the Sasquatch beings were kind of working to kind of like hamper down some of the excitedness of all of us turning on right now and doing all the work at the same time. So I just thought that was funny.
Well, it makes sense. Somebody's got to keep things under control, right? Because it is chaotic. That's the overall feeling. The energy is chaotic when you leave your house and go out in public. It's not necessarily easy right now. And it's very apparent that, we're living in different timelines than other people. It's so crazy. It's like you could be standing next to somebody who's living in a different reality than you are. It sounds crazy to say it like that, but I guess you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, definitely. It's strange, because now when people start running that program, the social consciousness program, it's like, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's almost like before I used to try to teach them and try to bring them along. And now I'm going, oh my God, I don't know where to start right now. And if you haven't done it something by now, if you're not at least on the path and going by now, that's where you've chosen to go. And that's what I'm seeing with me. It's like on the path to enlightenment, your friends, you're going to have less and less friends. It's really weird until you get there. And then all of a sudden everybody wants to be your friend. But it's kind of interesting watching that. I don't go into the city anymore. I just don't go. And even the local town here, I don't even go into town anymore. And I'm just holding a frequency. And I feel, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm really working on my own process right now and healing myself and getting all the energies off of me through the years. But yeah, it's like, people say stuff and I look at them, I go, you haven't figured this out yet? And I don't even know what to say anymore. And so I don't say, I don't even engage anymore. I do engage on a frequency level, but not on a talking level on this level, and that's what I'm seeing right now. It's more engaging right now. I think it's more important to hold a frequency and engage on and just don't argue with people. Just say yes and walk away, because the main thing I've seen right now is the only reason anybody has any power over you is because you want something from them. You want their love, their acceptance, their approval. And we're so programmed, everything is external. And when you get rid of that and you go within and you make those connections within, all that goes away and you're free. And, you can let them be whoever they need to be, whatever lessons they need to experience. You can just let them experience them and just free yourself up to move on your journey and do your own ascension.
That's beautiful. Yes. The only reason
Yes,
that anybody has
absolutely.
power over you is because you want something from them. I love that. So we're coming up on the hour. So Matthew, I'm going to give you a chance to chime in one last time, and then I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to plug yourself, let people know where they can find you, and if you have anything coming up.
Oh, well, thank you. I will actually just kind of close out the last portion of that little section. If you guys are wondering, if anyone out there in YouTube land out there and, internet world is going, what are things that I can study and start to learn about to help me understand the nature of the parasitic construct and this great wave of darkness sweeping over the planet? Because right now, let me tell you what, you guys, it is not necessarily biological anymore. It's not necessarily physical anymore. We are in a deep-seated psychological operation that's occurring not only on the planet, but also a frequency warfare game. And so anyone out there that really wants to understand that invisible enemy that we've all been talking about, well, we can call it Wetiko, literal mind virus, and an actual frequency wavelength that's affecting the consciousness of all of those people that we're watching on the Earth plane right now that are going through that great madness. And so all that aside, to me, that represents probably the greatest challenge for us overcoming the current obstruction, we'll say, on our timeline. And with that, I'll just sort of leave it there. But yeah, that's basically the way I see it at the moment.
Yeah, let people know where they can find your work.
Right. Thank you. First off, for those of you guys interested in learning about the phenomenon of true energy clearing, or those trying to understand or tap into your intuitive abilities, those of you guys trying to figure out what's going on what we call a timeline, what a timeline actually is, how does that work, what's going on with my chakras or my meridians, we do private sessions, individual sessions at rememberyourmission.com. For those of you guys that want to check out any of the workshops and videos that I've done, you can find me on YouTube at at the School of Multidimensional Intuition, rather, on YouTube. And then finally, anyone that wants to be part of an actual real monthly training program in which we're truly working on non-physical anatomy, you can find me on Patreon at the Blue Flame Collective. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be with you guys in March. I'll hand it over to everybody else. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I'll make sure I get everybody's links to their channels in this whenever we're done. Tony, I understand you have your Patreon. Also, you're doing a really cool show, which is cool, I think, because it puts you on the other side of the interview. So now you get to discuss things that you want to talk about instead of answering questions about your time in the program. So you want to tell people about that and where they can find you?
Sure. Well, I always did interviews because, people asked. And so I feel more comfortable if I get asked to do it because people are kind of receptive to the info. For me to go out and just kind of like shove my story on people, I think is not cool. And, to the average person, it's kind of I don't think it's anybody's kind of duty to forcefully red pill somebody. So, but anybody that asks, literally anybody that asks, I've been very willing to talk to. So the interviews built up and people contacted me, kind of built up, and I'm a working stiff. I'm a normal guy. And I couldn't keep up with all, like today I missed like 3 phone calls with people that wanted to talk about their own experiences. And I just can't keep up with everybody. So I was able to create with Jackie, my co-host on my Patreon show, Jackie Pierce, who is a very gifted medium and a really great person, put together a website, TonyRodrigues.com with an S, just spelled like my name, TonyRodrigues.com. And it's got links on there. There's some info on there. Actually, a lot of there's a few CIA documents that are declassified about remote viewing and about things that I went through in the early years of my experience. And there's a link to my Patreon. There's links to free channels as well as a bio, and then the link to the memory course. So TonyRodrigues.com. And so far the show's been a lot of fun. You're right. It is great to be on the other side and kind of just be able to let the person talk and tell their story rather than having to give it all, So it's been nice. It's been an honor.
Yeah. Thank you for all the work you're doing. John, you still have just let people know where they can find you and what you're doing.
You can find me at righthemispheric.com, my website, where I do a lot of remote viewing training. You can go to that website and find me there. And I have a book, The Time Before the Secret Words. That's about it. Thanks for having this. This was great. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, everybody, make sure you go check that out. And I know you do. So you said you teach remote viewing. I think those workshops are, and I haven't done one with you before, but I have done one. And you guys, everybody out there can remote view. it'll shock you when you take one of these courses, what you're actually capable of. It's just a matter of understanding what you need to do. So it's cool that
Yeah, exactly. It's really easy. I teach online, then I'll go to East City Ranch with James and teach over there. And actually, James's place is an excellent place to learn because the energy is so high there, and it's an experience because you don't only get remote viewing, you get this other energetic aspect to the whole ordeal. So
yeah, thank you.
Check it out and sign up for a class.
Abby, people were asking in the comments if you had a website or anything where they could find you.
The website is under construction right now. So right now you can just find me on Facebook under Abby Lynn. But you can email me, Abby at Oric Ray. Oric Ray is the name of my business. I work locally here in Charleston, South Carolina. So right now I do sessions from, word of mouth, but I do sessions remotely. Really, what I focus on is healing comes from within. And I really look at the sessions as when you come in, all I am is just opening up a window or doorway into your own self. And, sometimes it's just so important just hearing a message. I was doing a session and this entirely different language came through, and and there people are saying it doesn't matter the message. They just need to hear this language, because when they hear this, it's going to spark a memory inside of them, and that will bring an opening and awareness for them. So, I dip into the Akashics if need be. A lot of us right now, I've noticed the theme that a lot of us are actually clearing out soul cycles, cycles that we've carried over multiple lifetimes. And, it's time to clear those out. So really that's kind of what I'm focusing on. And obviously coming in and starting to talk with people. I love having really great in-depth conversations with people and meeting everyone. So I'm looking forward to the conference in Florida.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, obviously we all are. I'm super excited about it. I'm just ready to get away from the screen and see some real people. Z, where can we find you and your work?
Can I sing us out later?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. If you'd like
Cool.
to.
I would really like to. I'm currently mostly just offering vibrational support over my YouTube channel. It's the Earthstar Healer, the Earthstar Sanctuary. I run a year-long galactic shamanism school. We're just starting, so I'm kind of not offering personal sessions or class at the moment until probably September of this year, but I'm doing kind of weekly transmissions and group clearings. I just recently did a 10-day live streaming series focused on, interdimensionality and embodiment and self-mastery and reptilians and all sorts of stuff. They got me banned from Facebook for a few days, and then they let me back on for some reason. But anyway, if you're liking this vibration and you're wanting more support in your healing and genetic activation, you can just go to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/EarthstarHealer.
Well, thank you for that. And James, I'm pretty sure everybody knows where to find you at this point. But we'll let eSETI.org. That was easy. All right, next. No.
Yeah. Well, you can go. We also have the eSETI Stargate on YouTube. Still, I can't believe we're still on there. We haven't been axed, but we are.
We're still on.
Yeah. And we've got eSETI Stargate, and then we have BBS Radio, and that show's just taken off. It's got like 80 affiliates in 50 countries or something like that. It's insane.
Yeah.
But everything is at the website, and we have the transpersonal release sessions, and those are up again now. Since I'm back at the ranch now, we're opening those up again. So we're staying exceedingly busy right now. It's really been keeping our feet to the fire lately.
Yeah. And Aaron, what about you? You've been quiet over there. If anybody, if anybody who's been on top of this, what's these current events and what's happening right now, it's Aaron. So you should let everybody know.
Give him a square.
Let everybody know what's going on. I mean, let us know.
What, right now?
Yes. No, seriously. No, just I just think I'm just living with him. I will say this, that even in times whenever I've kind of doubted what's happening, he's been on top of it, and he informs me, and it's like, okay, you're right. We all forget. We get distracted. So it's just encouraging to have you let everybody know that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It is going to be okay.
Good to have a piece of kryptonite on you too.
Yes.
It's a piece of a ship actually that fell over Arizona.
They're saying, Aaron, speak.
Nice.
Let us know now. Okay, so like what did Kate like Hollywood Squares, but for enlightened people? Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
Guys, so really quick before we turn this over to Z to sing us out, which if you haven't heard her voice, stick around for it's beautiful. Yeah, I'm sure she'll just go for a couple minutes, but it's really powerful stuff. You can find us now on Foxhole. If you don't know what that is, it's an app you can download, or you go on your desktop, the foxhole.app. And it's a really cool platform. Aaron, if you want to drop it, it's a really cool platform. If anything ever happens to our YouTube, it's going to be a cool place to find us. A lot of channels are moving over there. So make sure you follow us there. Follow us on Telegram. That's become our new Twitter. Telegrams have turned out to be awesome. There's so many things you can do on there. It's amazing. And guys, don't forget to grab a ticket to the conference. I know they're limited. There's not a whole lot left, but so jump on it. Come hang out with us on the beach. We're going to be setting up our Experiencers Lounge like we did at Camp Disclosure last year. So we're going to be doing some live podcasts. We're going to be interviewing anybody and everybody who has something to share with us as far as a testimony or an experience. We want to film it. We're going to compile it into a video and put it out there. The last one from Camp Disclosure was amazing. If some of these people come to these conferences because they don't get to talk about this stuff anywhere else. So they come and they're just spilling out all of this stuff that they've had bottled up for a long time. And we want to capture some of that. So that's what we're going to be there doing, and obviously hanging out with everybody. And
probably ships appearing there too. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have a lot of ships come in during that conference. North Carolina, we had that one beautiful one came in. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, it's amazing. So like
they
Matthew
also
said,
have live stream tickets. Sorry to throw that in there, but live stream tickets are available, guys, for those of you guys in other parts of the world. And anyway, just want to throw that in.
Well, I do have to correct you on that. It's not, the live stream is not set in stone yet, but they are still available. No,
strike that, reverse it. Sorry.
No, we're still working on the live stream to make sure it happens, and it is available. So hopefully we manifest that. Yeah,
there will be one. We just created the timeline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then
people are asking what's the correct spelling of Abby's email.
Oh, Abby, everybody's interested in what you're doing.
Sorry, it's AURICRAY.com. Auric Ray.
At gmail.com?
No, at auricray.com.
So Abby at auricray.com.
Yeah. And guys, just really quick, our promo codes that are still going, 10% off the Omnia Radiation Balancer with promo code TRUTH, all caps. We have 15% off Hopewell Farm CBD with promo code JTT15, and 20% off all of our Teespring merch with promo code Sleepy Joe. And that one's going to run indefinitely. And I think we covered everything. I want to thank all you guys for joining us tonight. I know it's hard to do these roundtables and give everybody a chance, an equal amount of time to talk. So thank you for being here and helping us put out this message and really promote this event. And I guess we'll turn it over to Z and let her take us out.
Yeah, if you're feeling called to come out and hang out with us, it's going to be a powerful weekend. And, you might do some serious magic together. So definitely go and get your ticket if you're feeling like joining us. It's going to be a lot of fun. So with these sound frequency ceremonies, what I'm basically doing is they bring in these codes which activate our original source DNA. And what ends up happening is that you might feel like tingles, or, everybody responds to it differently. So if you're feeling like participating, I just invite you to get into a comfortable position. Maybe you want to sit just in a way that's going to allow your body to relax, to receive the frequencies. And if they're coming in and you don't want to receive them, you can just close your or and say no. That's totally available to you.
Wow. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Z. I couldn't help to I opened my eyes and looked at James, and he looked like the happiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It put a
Yeah.
smile on my face.
Thanks.
Thank
That
you.
was beautiful.
What'd you say, James?
I said it was beautiful.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for doing that, Z. Everyone in the comments was going crazy. They said we're gonna rewatch this again just to hear that. So yeah, guys, check out some of Z's other work. It's really awesome stuff to meditate to. It really takes you on a journey
Does
to
she have
truth.
CDs available?
I have one, but it's available on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I do lots of sound healing ceremonies that are recorded for all sorts of different stuff, implants and past life trauma, all available for free. You can check it out on my YouTube channel.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody want to add any last words before we wrap this up? Anyone? Are we good?
Keep an open mind, loving heart, and pure intent. That's all you need to get through.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a great spot with a great bunch of people, and this has all the makings of a landmark conference. I can't wait.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I just want to add in to remind everybody that we create our own reality. And, going out and, even with the face masks being out there, I've never worn one. And when I go out in public, we can all do this. You raise that vibration and I push out so much white light that I literally trigger, I trick other people's minds. So they don't even notice I'm not wearing mine. And
Nice.
I mean, that's what I project that. I project that part of their memory inside of them. We have lived our lives much longer without them than with them. So you've reached that point inside of their brains and they don't even realize you're not wearing one. I don't have them going places.
Gotta trick them into a double mask now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Don't say that. I saw that now. Okay. Guys, just keep in mind that this is only a handful of the speakers. There's some other amazing speakers going to be at this event. We just added Kate Awakening today. So it's really going to be a lot of fun. And it's much needed right now for us to get together and heck, just give each other a hug, man.
Yeah.
So that being said, thank you guys for all tuning in. Thank you for the support. Thank you guys for all doing what you do and being here with us tonight. And I'll be in touch very soon. And I guess that's it. Have a great night, everybody. And we'll
Thank you, everybody.
We'll be
Thanks
with
for
you
having
soon.
us.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Bye,
Good night.
guys.
See you soon.